I am Maria Garcia de Fleury. John Henry Newman was born in London, England in 1801 to a middle class family. He studied at Oxford University. Having many paths to worldly success, he opted for the priesthood in the Church of England. Newman even chose to remain celibate, something unusual for an Anglican clergyman. He became a beloved pastor teaching and tutoring at Oriel College in Oxford. When Newman began to study the church fathers of the Catholic Church, those great figures who articulated the foundations of the Christian faith, something stirred with him. The fathers had a vision of the church alive in the faith, unified and growing. Some parts of their teaching, Newman wrote, came like music to my inner ear. On a trip through southern Europe in 1833, Newman fell seriously ill in Sicily and nearly died. In the midst of bout of illness, he said, I will not die. I have to work to do in England. When he recovered, he returned to his homeland. Newman wanted to live in that church of the fathers, so, together with his friends, he began what is known as the Oxford movement, seeking to renew the Church of England from within. In his preachings and writings, he reflected the teachings of the fathers of the Catholic Church. The Oxford authorities considered him un-Protestant. Newman left the university and retired to the village of Littlemore, praying and struggling with his prejudice against the Catholic Church. For 3 years, he devoted himself to prayer and study. In 1845, he published an essay on the development of the Christian doctrine, which became a Christian classic for showing how the Catholic Church developed its understanding and articulation of dogma over time. That same year, John Henry Newman, the brilliant professor and renowned preacher, asked a poor Italian missionary priest to hear his confession, and he entered the Catholic Church. His friends distanced themselves from him, accusing him of treason. Newman published his autobiography as a defense of my life, responding to the accusations with the testimony of his life. And he wrote also an essay called Going Out in the Open Sea. 2 years later in Rome, Newman was ordained as a Catholic priest. He entered the oratory of St. Philip Neri, and a year later, he brought the oratory into English society, ministering to poor immigrants and factory workers. In 1879, this Oxford professor, considered a moral and literary giant of his time, attracted the attention of Pope Leo XIII, who made him a cardinal. Great works take time, and in 1890, John Henry Newman emerged from the shadows and his integrity was recognized. Pope John Paul II beatified him, Pope Francis canonized him, and Pope Leo XIV named him as a Doctor of the Church for his contributions to the revival of the theology and understanding of Christian doctrine in its development. Cardinal Newman, a brilliant and influential theological and one of the most celebrated converts to Catholicism, celebrates his feast day on October 9, the day he was received into the Catholic Church from Anglicanism, because he persevered in the search for God, because he knew that with God we always win.